There you go.
Thank you. Okay, welcome everyone and Happy New Year. The first meeting of Hudson 7 for 2026. How about that? So we have a lot to go over tonight. A lot of business to get through, having not had a meeting in November. So what I'd like to do, if we have any comments or whatever, we're going to try to keep things to a limit to 3 minutes for comments, and even in your presentations, try to stick to the basics. And so we can get through a lot of this stuff as quick and as efficiently as possible this evening. And just for those who kind of a little bit have Verizon, if you're on Verizon and you realize that you can't make calls, you're not alone. 150,000 people on the East Coast are currently without a network to be able to use their cell phones. So welcome to 2026. All right. So today is Hudson 7 hybrid meeting. But thank you for joining the Hudson 7 Drinking Water Council. Today is January 14th. I'm Gary Bassett, also the mayor of the village of Rhinebeck and the chair of the Hudson 7. Our Hudson 7 meetings will be live streamed on Hudson 7's YouTube channel, and the public is advised to subscribe to this channel. Our in-person meetings occur at the Poughkeepsie Water Treatment Facility, located here where we are sitting at 70 Waterworks Road in Poughkeepsie, New York. Public comment is allowed both in person and remotely. Please visit our website to learn how you can provide public comment. In attendance tonight, I'm going to go around the room and on the screen to have everybody introduce themselves. So I'm going to start on my left.
Devin Rigolino, representative for Dutchess County and vice chair.
Jonathan Cherns, Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority.
And Shershin, town of Poughkeepsie.
Donnie Nobly, Water Plant Administrator.
In your room.
Liz Masuda, former elected from Hyde Park.
Liz, do you think you will be?
I have to speak to Eric. I spoke to Al. It was gonna be Al.
It will be Al, you said?
No,
Oh, it'll be you.
it's Al, and it'll be Al, and then I have to speak. I haven't had a chance.
Oh, you haven't found out. Okay, just different. All right, I'm going to start in the screen in the upper left corner with Rebecca.
Rebecca Martin, Source Water Protection Coordinator, Consultant.
Eric.
Eric Weinstock, representing the town of Hyde Park, and I'm joining you from Ludlow, Vermont, where the skiing was great today, and we are hoping for snow tonight.
Oh, good for you. Oh.
Paul Malmrose, engineering advisor for the Hudson 7.
John.
John Lipscomb, retired from Riverkeeper, advisor on things maritime.
Very good. Randy.
Randy Allstat, attending from Naples, Florida, where it's 70 degrees and you can keep your snow. I'm technical advisor.
Dirty rat.
And we have a guest tonight from the county, Ron.
Ron Hicks from the County Executive's Office. I'm just attending and a water drinker.
Thank you. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Spizia, the supervisor of Rhinebeck.
Andy, how are you?
Good to see you all. Andy Bicking, Ulster County Department of the Environment.
And then last but not least, Dan, I don't know where you are, but
I'm right at the door. I'll be sitting with you in a moment. Dan Shapley, Riverkeeper, technical advisor, and also with me,
Shannon Roback, Science Director, Riverkeeper.
Oh, very good. See you soon then. And hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining.
Hey, good evening, Ryan Sharp, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie. Good evening, everyone.
Very good. And now, just in time, we're doing roll call. I'm going to start with Nick.
Hi, folks. Nick Butler, Town of Sophus, Water Superintendent.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Roscoe, I believe.
Yes, Town of Sophus Supervisor.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
There you are.
Here in person.
Welcome.
First time. Very exciting. Shy sit.
All right, we have a quorum. I'm going to move forward with the meeting. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from November 12th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, treasurer's report. We have a treasurer's report for the end of the year, treasurer's report for the Hudson River Drinking Water Intermunicipal Council. We ended the year with Excuse me, I gotta find the right report. We ended the year, we started the month with $13,898.36. We paid $12,784.94 at $4.82 in interest and ended the ending balance at the end of the year, $1,118.24. Okay. Rebecca, you're up for the annual conference and operations timeline.
Yeah, so we finally created this Hudson 7 annual governance and operations timeline, which gives the council a sense of the items that have to occur and when throughout the year. And so there's a link, we'll probably post it online for folks, but it's helpful. It shows you what you need to do ongoing in January, in February, in March, April, and then annually. So this should be helpful for you all just to be prepared from year to year.
Any questions? Thank you. Rebecca, stay online for your report.
So there are two reports, one in November and December because we were out, that are posted in the agenda and on our meetings page. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Rebecca.
Okay.
Let's keep rolling on communications.
All right, so communications for the month of December and up until today, the Ulster County Water Quality Coordinating Committee met on December the 8th, and there's a link here to your source materials with minutes from that meeting. There were two blog posts that we made in December, 1 year in review, which just outlined all the work that we did last year, and then a blog post on the recent bill to permanently ban barges on the Hudson River that was signed into law. The Hudson River Watershed Alliance submitted their end of year December newsletter digest, as well as their annual report that is linked in the agenda for you if you want to take a look at it. There are a couple of articles on the salt front, one from WPDH and one from the Maris Circle. Next, there's a deadline on February 10th that I just pulled forward in the case the Hudson 7 wants to participate. It's a paradigm shift in harmful algal blooms. I'm sorry, I skipped it. Notice of public comment period for revisions to Division of Environmental Remediation Program Policy, DER 24, and assistance for contaminated water supplies. That's something you can talk offline with Dan about if you have any questions. It's not being raised as something to discuss. It's just in communications, Gary.
Okay.
The NASA Inspires grant that we are partners with Riverkeeper was submitted on December 11th. Thank you, Shannon. Partners for Climate Action in the Hudson Valley has an upcoming webinar. It occurred on January the 7th. If you're interested on how to prepare your community out of love, that was sent to us from Vanessa from the village of Rhinebeck that I'm sharing. There might be a recording if you're interested. Upcoming meetings and events. In December, there was a webinar and a report. On December the 4th was the webinar, but there's a report still posted if you're interested called Untapped Potential of Municipal and Industrial Water Efficiency in the United States. So have a look at that. Beyond Plastics, Judith Enck is coming to the village of Rhinebeck to Oblong Books to promote her new book, The Problem with Plastic, and how we can save ourselves and the planet before it's too late. Coming up on January the 22nd at 6 p.m. Today, the Hudson River CAG, the Community Advisory Group on PCBs met, and Randy, I think, attended, maybe Dottie and Devin too. It's on the agenda for later. Occurred this afternoon. Beyond Plastics, People Over Plastic Advocacy Day is on February the 9th. If you're interested in learning more about that and registering to attend. And Riverkeeper's Hudson River Advocacy Day on Tuesday, February 24th is occurring in Albany, and there's a link here too for the same. If you're interested, you can look and register. And that's it for communications and upcoming meetings and events.
Thank you, Rebecca.
There's no public comment.
No public comment. I do have one. I got a comment just right before this meeting about two potential oil spills on the Hudson River near Bar. Has anybody heard about this?
No, I got a outreach from a reporter asking about it, and
Me to clear.
now you're
The catch.
reminding me that I didn't try to find anything, so I should.
I was
I
hoping
can't believe there's something big going on that I didn't hear anything else about, but I
Right.
don't know.
All right. All right, so I'm not aware, so just keep your ears open. There is something going around that has obviously not been confirmed about a potential oil spill near Bar.
I will ask colleagues at Riverkeeper to look into it, which is what I meant to do when it first came across my.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we have no presentations this month. I'm going to move forward to actions. All right, motion, we have several actions we need to take tonight. The first one is, I'd like to make a motion for the Source Water Protection Coordinator, motion to authorize an RFP for the Source Water Protection Coordinator for the Hudson 7. Do I have a second? Roscoe, thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, can you please talk about it?
Yes, I can. So this Hudson River Source Water Protection, our current consultant, which is Rebecca, her contract has expired. We need to go out for a new contract. The idea to do this is to go out for an RFP and solicit inputs for that selection process. I've asked Devin and Dan to take the lead to draft the RFP. Ron Hicks is online. He has volunteered to let us use county resources to use their template and also their bid matrix for going out to bid for the future for this process. I believe the process is going to take several months. So there's two parts to this. The first part is to do the RFP. If we come back, I've asked Devin and Dan to come back with the RFP in a month. So at our next monthly meeting, we will review and have a discussion on the RFP. If it's all approved and we're all good with that, we will then do that, have candidates, give 30 days for candidates to come forward. During that time, we will then set up an interview committee based on the candidates, have the interview committee then, go through that and come back at the next meeting for a vote on the candidate. Okay?
When was this committee formed?
This week. There is no committee. No,
Isn't it a resolution to?
This is the resolution right now to draft the committee, which I've asked Dan and Devin to be part of.
But our bylaws say that the council forms a committee.
Then make that the resolution.
Yeah, I'd like to be on the committee as well, since I brought this up for discussion.
Right, and Devin and Dan, so anybody else who would like to be on the committee as well to help serve on this?
Yeah, I recognize I'm a non-voting member here tonight, although Ulster County does have the paperwork and process to have a resolution to appoint me to that role. I think, given that we've got, two counties here that are kind of making an equal financial contribution to the overall effort, and both have municipalities who are directly benefiting with drinking water, I would very much appreciate the opportunity to participate in that conversation, Gary.
I think that'd be great.
Gary, Mayor?
I'm sorry, Ron?
Mayor, forgive me, I can't find the raise hand feature. I just wanted to clarify Dutchess County's participation. We obviously, as Ulster does, we have a procurement division, central services, and they are accustomed to drafting these documents and have templates and the online access. So what I had suggested as a member, county being a member, that we would provide those resources and guidance and expertise of our central services in the process. I further mentioned to the mayor that our county attorney's office would be happy to participate in providing templates for any agreements that you needed moving forward. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you very much. And thank the county for their help. Okay, so we have a committee drafted by the council, Devin, Dan, Elizabeth, and Andy. We're good? All right, so the motion is to draft a source water protection coordinator RFP by this committee and come back next month. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Very good. Thank you. Next motion. What?
There's a comment.
That's not part of this motion, right? So we have another motion to extend because our current coordinator position is expired. We need to have a project coordinator protection coordinator through this interim period of time. So I'd like to make a motion to extend the current coordinator contract until such time a new candidate can be named. Do I have a second? Thank you, Roscoe. Discussion. Hearing none.
Yes, no. I'd like to propose that we look at the rate here, that it's too high for what we're paying all of our municipal employees and consultants.
So Elizabeth, wouldn't that come forward when we come forward with, you want to change the current rate? Because we're going to talk about that when we bring the new one forward, right?
I would like to bring the current rate into what town employees are making.
Wouldn't the rate be one of the considerations in reviewing the responses to the RFPs? And that
I think so. My point is that we've never really reviewed the rate, and this came up with our labor coordinator that it's vastly out of scale with what anyone else in the town is making, me included.
So Andy, the way we drafted the current protection coordinator was by resolution, and it was not on an hourly rate. It was based on a project rate, and it was based on a $75,000 a year to paid out equally over a 12-month period of time. That's what we drafted and selected.
And how many hours a week? I mean,
Elizabeth's motion is to address that. Elizabeth, if you would like to make a motion to address that, we can bring it forward and have a vote.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to account for hours and work time and pay an hourly rate.
Do we have a second? No, there's no second for your motion, Elizabeth.
Okay, fails.
Okay. All right. So back to the first motion. I'd like to make a vote on that. All in favor of extending the current protection coordinator until such time a new coordinator can be named, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Opposed.
Okay. Thank you. Motion carried. Okay, next is really not a vote. We sent out the Hudson 7 revised memorandum of agreement and our new fees to all of you. Roscoe, thank you for receiving that and taking my call as well. So I think all the municipalities, including the counties, have received that information, and dues are due the end of the month. All right, so we'll be following up with that to make sure dues are paid. Okay, and please sign the MOA and get it back to us, and then we can collectively have all of them here. Okay. Now, I do need a motion. Last month, we needed to make a website payment. It expired at the end of the year, and we did not have a meeting. Our website was going to go down if we didn't pay the bill. We paid the bill out of our Hudson 7 account because we had enough money. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the payment that was made for $155.52, which included the domain name in 1995, or total, excuse me, 1995 for the domain name, 155.52 for the website, for a total of 175.47 that was paid out of our and reimbursed out of our account.
Second.
Thank you, Liz. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Right. All right, we've been working for quite some time on a technical advisor policy. That's out for review for everybody. Rebecca, is there anything you would like to say about that?
No, just if anybody has any questions after reviewing it. It's been on the agenda, I think, for 3 months.
Right.
It's very simple. It just creates some support, some boundaries, and clarity for technical advisors. So if there are any questions, please ask them. Otherwise, I think it might be time to vote on the policy.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the technical advisor's policy as drafted.
I'll second.
Thank you, Roscoe. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. So carried. Okay. The Central Hudson issue, Rebecca.
Yes, so I just put the highlights here to update everybody. So Central Hudson did a river bottom mapping survey and an update from Jesse Gallo, and they visited us in I think November. They did a non-intrusive river bottom mapping survey, or they were tentatively planning to do it in December. That all work would be conducted from a surface vessel. Sonar instruments do not touch the river bottom. The survey will be used a multi-beam side scan and sub-bottom sonar to map bottom topography, sediment density, etc. Sediment cores collected earlier this year identify where contaminants are. That's 2025. And John Lipscomb, our technical advisor, after reviewing Jesse's comments, said that this process is standard, it's non-intrusive, and reflects that Central Hudson is taking serious steps towards developing a remediation plan. So it sounds like we're moving forward in a good way. And Gary, I think you're waiting to hear back from the DEC following the results of this mapping.
Yes, I believe we were supposed to get a meeting scheduled for this month. Right, John?
Yeah, I can add, just to clarify, sorry for my voice. So what Rebecca was saying is that the next layer of investigation is non-intrusive. Just to be clear, that's the sonar profiling that they want to do. So that is, we've done that from the Riverkeeper boat, that the sonar equipment doesn't touch the bottom. There's nothing to concern Hudson 7 there. I'm waiting for, I've been back and forth with Frank Zulak, who's a spill expert at NOAA, and he was out of touch with the government closure, and now, of course, he's backed up to the moon. But I received from Central Hudson a diagram of where they found coal tar in, their best guess on the location, the footprint of the coal tar on the bottom. And I've shared that with Frank Zulak, and the idea, he may not be able to contribute anything, but I will explain the physical system of the river there, the bridge being a possible anchor for collection booms, etc., the depth issues, the current issues. And the idea of going to him is he's seen every kind of response in the world. And the idea is to see if he can recommend anything that we might suggest to the DEC should coal tar start to reappear when the water gets warmer and the bottom sediments get warmer and the coal tar starts to mobilize, potentially. So it would just be a way of being more prepared if and when we see coal tar, because we did press the DEC to have a plan for that possibility. So we're asking the DEC for two plans. One is the plan to fully remediate the site, and the second is a plan to contain coal tar if it reappears as it did late this summer, until the full job is done. I hope I'm being clear.
That is, John. But John, if you remember from our last meeting, we were trying to get together in January again with DEC. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Rebecca will know probably better than I will, but Central Hudson came back saying, could we meet and talk about this? And we went back and said, Rebecca and I went back and said, well, you know, I said I can't make any commitments without Hudson 7 signing off on the next meeting. And then Central Hudson came back to Rebecca and me, and maybe I've missed something in the interim, but I believe they said that they were waiting on a meeting date response from the DEC. And it was basically an update meeting. So since the DEC has not given them a date, Central Hudson hasn't come back to us with a proposal of a date. Is that correct, Rebecca?
Yep.
Good. Yeah, I think that's right. So we're in hold. We're in hold.
I think we should be pushing them for a date though, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt if Central Hudson has something to say. We want to hear it.
Right.
And so DEC should make that meeting happen. Yes.
I'm going to take the opportunity to reach out to them and remind them of the meeting and try to get a meeting scheduled. Okay.
That'd be great.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any other comments on that? Moving forward, our drinking water source protection monitoring project for the Hudson 7 communities. Devin, you got this? I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been attending Dutchess County's local emergency planning committee meetings over the past year and a half or so. Our office in the planning department, we've been assisting the group with some various mapping exercises. It's a group of emergency response professionals and water operators, and basically they're interested in mapping out and tracking potential contaminant sources, particularly I think they're called tier 2 facilities, bulk chemical storage facilities and the like. And the last two meetings we've had, they've really started to take notice of this group, of the council and the work that we're doing here. And they're really interested in having a joint meeting where each group sort of does an intro and a description of what their missions are, and then potentially doing some brainstorming of how the two groups could collaborate and work together. One idea that they have is they would like to have a joint meeting, which we've already done this. We already have great networks with the Coast Guard, but they would like to have like a three-way meeting with the Coast Guard and the Hudson 7. And they've also been kicking around this idea, and I don't know how the council would feel about this, but pulling together some kind of regional source water protection like conference or something. I don't really know where that's going to go, but I think if we do an initial kickoff meeting where we sort of just get a group from the council together with this group, do some intros, I think that the next step will become clear from there. So I promised them, we met last week, I promised them that I would bring it up tonight. I don't know if we have an existing committee that would make sense to lead this, or if we need to form a new one. I don't know if the full body wants to meet with the LEPC. They tend to meet quarterly. But I'm happy whoever wants to be involved with this process, I would love to bring it back to that group.
We could include technical advisors in this meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct?
I'd love to. We need them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to align with the drinking water source protection plan, certainly, the spill response concerns that are written into that. The work I think John is point on with the Coast Guard and the area contingency plan, right? It seems like that's the most alignment. Looking for
We have the DWSP2 committee. Is that what you're referring to? That's established and working. Something else?
The Coast Guard, Coast Guard updating its spill response plans and our been representing us, I think, to Hudson 7, right?
That's right.
So I think building, I guess it's an easy way of saying, I think John should be there.
Yeah.
Because he knows that process. And Dottie, I think you've been participating in that. So at least that makes sense to me to have those two.
Is there anybody additional from the council that would like to attend? I would like to attend. Possible, okay. I would like to add my name onto the list.
So what I would like to do is I'd like to kind of get these groups together on an email chain, find a date, and once we have a date, we'll send it out to everyone. Everyone can be invited, but I would like to at least make sure that the three of you are available.
Yes, I'd like to also, if I can, I'm just like to provide the time, so keep me on as an option.
Sounds good.
Very good.
right, thank you all.
Good job.
Gary, I would like to be involved with it if I can.
Thank you,
I'll
Randy.
be in Florida until April 1st. But anything other than that, I can attend. I would like to.
Only if you promise to bring us some sunshine.
Yep, you got it. Hey, it's only 69 degrees here now.
Don't push it, Randy.
70, you can count it.
Yeah, awesome.
Randy, we might remove you from the screen if you keep this up.
Yeah. We know where you live.
Okay. John, our CSX bridge repairs, can you bring us up to date?
I have nothing new there. Rebecca and I spoke, and she took the initiative of suggesting. I had asked for what happened to that letter from long ago. Rebecca took the initiative to suggest that we resend the letter. And I think that's the thing to do. I think we should copy as many big guns on the letter as we can. It ought to be that the Hudson 7 is a big enough gun for the railroad people to answer. But we didn't get an answer. And my experience with the state railroad regulators is that they feel kind of immune from any public comment. There's a real bad attitude there. So when we resend the letter, we should copy anybody we think will add mass. I mean, we just did that. Rebecca's team just did that with the leachate initiative with the DEC. The DEC was blowing us off and not responding to our letters. And then Rebecca put out a letter that had 20 or so coalition members, and she got a call in an hour and a half. So we should do the same thing with the railroad. I think we should potentially modify the letter a little bit, and I'm happy to do that with Rebecca for you guys to review.
I'll just add here that this idea that John had came out of following up on our meeting with the Coast Guard and their presentation, and there being a brief conversation about the fact that we were concerned about spills in the CSX is taking our concern seriously. And so it seems like a ripe time to resend and get all of our Coast Guard allies included in our communication to see if they can help us. So it's good timing, John, I think.
Yeah, if there were a spill from a train, the Coast Guard would be lead agency for the response, but the Coast Guard doesn't have any authority to get the railroads to inspect or repair bridges, inspect or repair rail lines, share cargoes, anything like that. So the Coast Guard is in the unenviable position of being a responder with no authority to prevent spills whatsoever. So we can make a stronger letter and then resend it and just press them until they're willing to meet with us. And how much we can get out of the rails is to be determined, but got to try.
All right, I'd like to ask John to draft the letter for the review. Do I have a second? Roscoe, thank you. Any discussion?
A quick comment, Mayor Bassett.
Sure.
Just, John, I think thinking about my old days as an advocate, the DEC letter that was sent is a great model. However, the railroad's accountable to kind of a different set of criteria. And I'm sure you all are going to think about it, but the things that motivate them are not going to be the same thing that motivate a government agency. So just some thought to what that kind of cohort of signatories looks like in the message. I'm sure you're going to do it anyway, but it's an apples to orange comparison.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And to be clear, we didn't send a letter to like the Northeast rep from CSX. We sent the letter to and I forget his name and his title right now, but it's a New York State official who is in charge of the state's relationship with the rail line. So it's a state person. Sense. It's a state person. And we have the old letter, and he's somebody we communicated with on a number of failing bridges in the past. But your point is exactly right.
His name is Maurice O'Connell. He's the regional vice president.
So the question is, do we want to have, after this letter is drafted, do we want to bring it back to the council for review before we send it? Or are we going to authorize John and Rebecca and it can come to Devin and I for review and we can send? Your choice.
I'm happy with, it's been way over a year, so there is no rush.
Right.
I'm happy. I mean, just as Andy just had some good thoughts, I think we could send it out. We might not have to wait till a next meeting. We could send it out and anybody who has some input could give it to us. I don't think there's any harm in more help.
Very good. All right. So you guys draft a letter, send it around for review, and then we'll go. Okay?
Deal.
Thank you, John.
We didn't finish the vote on that, though.
Yes, we all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. All right. Dan, we still got to talk about harmful algae blooms? Really? It's winter.
Well, we don't have any harmful algae blooms going, which is good. But one of the things that we, when the health department convened, you remember the Dutchess County Department of Health especially did a great job at getting the operators together. My understanding is that the health department is going to offer whatever help you want as operators to update your emergency response plans with HABs stuff, but that they're not helping to convene and kind of do it as a group, which seems to me like there'd be value in getting together and talking over what should go in them and how to coordinate if one plant gets a sample, what to do with the other. So I wanted to raise that and see if it would be helpful to do some kind of convening of the operators to update those plans.
I'm assuming it's the same template that Dottie received that I received. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know Dutchess County, and I can Dutchess County, but we've had to submit a response plan for our HABs. That was, by the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
We already had a meeting within Dutchess County for water operators that would be affected. We met as a group to discuss that.
Oh, good.
So, and there was no discussion about that meeting necessarily as far as the communication pattern, one sees it, one doesn't, how that would work. But we did discuss potentially forming like an emergency response group that we're talking about, getting operators involved. So I think it's in the works. And I do think that this event helped bring us a little closer together in a sense. Communicating and now we know what to look for in a sense.
Yeah.
So
What about the Ulster side? What's going on?
So we didn't quite have the same kind of what you were just talking about, especially with, I won't say support. So I've had all the support in the world from the local health department and of course state, but outside of my guys and my plant, that's pretty much where it stopped on my side. There was no additional meetings with any other entities, which I didn't feel as lackluster by any stretch of the term. I think that my guys handled it amazing, and I think we all learned so much throughout the entire process. And with the template from the health department, from the state health department, point of contacts are had now that didn't exist before. So I think we're in a good spot. Not too comfortable, but definitely comfortable.
So
Ditto.
does it maybe, I'm just throwing out, I mean, obviously don't want to force something if it's not needed, but it sounds like your individual plans you're happy with. And the count within Dutchess, you're communicating, and obviously you communicate here. Would it be helpful to get everyone together like before the HAB season, or now?
I think it's great, and I was going to mention to Rebecca about the water treatment plant operators committee that we're due to catch up at some point. But yeah, I was thinking about that a while ago. I'm sure Dottie was as well. But it only makes sense. But the only way that'll work out is if we have presence from all 5 municipalities. The only way that'll work out properly where we have solid communication.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's wise to bring it to that committee.
Well, do you want to do it to the water treatment plant operators or do you want to set up a separate committee?
No, it sounds like maybe through the water plant operators. If you don't have all the agendas set, Rebecca, maybe one could be on that topic.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. And I think we can absolutely bring everyone together, bring Adam from Lloyd. I know that that's sometimes missing, but we have a new supervisor there. And so we'll see. We'll work on that. I think it's a great idea, Nick.
Thanks.
Okay, very good.
We'll make our operator available from the Hyde Park Water Plant. It's Alan Pettit.
Excellent. You guys are participating in the meetings anyway,
Yeah,
so, right?
This sounds like an additional
Yeah.
conversation, so.
Okay, all right, no motion needed. All right. Salt front. Is that gonna be Paul or who wants to talk about Paul, Rebecca?
Dottie from Poughkeepsie, just based on the update that you sent us in December, Dottie.
I didn't remember what I said, but basically, we are no longer dealing with self-run episode that ended, with goodness and, we've had to include additional information to the health department about our emergency response. What we're doing as a plan, we're saying to do this, potentially happening again in the future. But other than that, we're.
Was there any pushback from the announcements that you guys made? From hospitals, other places?
So I think they would have liked some more communication, maybe. We put out there when we had confirmation that we had those numbers, and that's part of the problem is we were waiting for confirmation because that's the requirement from the health department. You get a result, and then if it's over the regulation, you confirm it again, and then when you have that result, then you're confirmed. And I think we needed to be in better communication to give them a heads up earlier, and that is part of our emergency response plans that will give them specifically communication when we're approaching higher levels. Than one of the biggest problems is that this comes and it's here. So we had a little bit of a prior to those really high spikes when it was right by our door. We had a little bit of a notice, and then it went away. And then all of a sudden one night I got a text message, at midnight saying that the conductivity is spiking. We can't register in our meters. So it was here one day and it was gone. And so same thing when it goes away, it was really high. And then we started to see just a couple of days of drops and then it was gone. And we had to come back.
Nick, you didn't experience anything, did you?
No, but I wasn't searching out for it per se. I was talking to Daddy quite often.
Right, okay.
And Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have any experience with it.
Hyde Park would be the next north system from Poughkeepsie, and we started to see some levels coming up that would be actionable.
Right, you think you're under threshold?
Yeah, and I just got the email from the operator today indicating that we had discontinued sampling with it's a non-issue at this point.
Right.
Are you reporting about 20 milligrams per liter or are there thereabouts for your annual water quality
I
report?
can pull out the email for you after. I don't know off the top of my head. They said it was clear. I saw that the labs were there. I didn't have time to look at it.
So going forward, we're just gonna maintain the communication here. So kind of the plan that will work through water treatment plant operators, maintain communication here, put out the alerts so that we can inform the communities as well. That are required to come from them, but I think the general public as well.
Yeah, so working on our emergency response.
Okay.
Communications.
Do we know what the timeline is for the state's study on this?
So that's
Yes,
what Paul has an update.
I have an update. The study started in October of 2024, and it's supposed to be completed in September of 2027. USGS has set up a website summarizing what they've been doing, and it's worth looking at. I'll send the link to everyone. Some of their initial findings were that I guess we all know that when the level chlorine concentration reaches 100 milligrams of chlorine per liter, that's when you have the salt front there. During the drought of the 1960s at Poughkeepsie, it reached 342, or three and a half times the level, and it also reached the city of Poughkeepsie. So when we do have a sea level rise, we could really expect some conditions. Dan and I have been talking to the Hudson River Black River Water District that releases water to the Hudson River. They said this past year they've released quite a bit of water to maintain the river flows. So we have to coordinate with them. But the study's going. It was shut down a little while because of the federal shutdown, but it's going again.
Thank you, Paul. Okay.
Just had one thing, Dottie, it seems to me that there used to be one of the remote monitoring buoys that was gathering data someplace south of you. And so guess it's been non-operational for a decade or more. But it seems like that would be a really valuable collection point so that you don't have to wait until the salt shows up, that you have some kind of warning that's not West Point, right?
Yeah, so there is one that's south of Poughkeepsie. It was somewhat operational for conductivity throughout the salt front episode.
It was.
So one of the issues, especially during the shutdown, is that there was nobody there to monitor these meters. So there were times where there's like gaps in data. The next one below that is West Point. I have seen some trends as far as like when they reach around 8,000 conductivity, units, then we're just seeing elevated conductivities here. So it is something that we can, look out into. So as we start to notice the trend upward here, we can pay attention to this. But that's really
part of the response plan that you've written to check those
I didn't
real-time
put it in our plan, but it is an internal, thing. Yeah, it's to use other sources of data. We are going to be using, we're getting a inline chloride probe, where we've added additional conductivity meters. We've also are in the process of getting POs to purchase chlorophyll and phytocyanin probes so that we have it here and we can monitor our filters and basins and stuff so that we can begin to gather some additional background data and see if we see any trends, be prepared if this ever happens. So,
great.
One of the things, I don't know if I can commit to the staffing for it yet, but we are looking to get certified potentially for persistent analysis, but I don't want to commit anything yet, but it is something that's on my radar. So
Sweet.
see if we can do something like that.
All right, we're gonna move on here.
If I,
John,
before, just one quick note. All the sensors that I'm aware of, like the HRECO sensors, are surface sensors. And the nature of a salt wedge is it's at the bottom. So unless a sensor is at the bottom, it won't give you a warning. I don't think, since your intakes are at the bottom. But it might be that we, as part of the discussions with the state, since Hudson 7 drinks so much water and it's a critical issue, it might be that Hudson 7 should be asking the state to deploy a sensor in deep water south of Hudson 7 reach.
Yeah.
idea. Okay. Jonathan, how about update us on your neck of the woods for Chippy?
Sure. This is Jonathan speaking. The Champlain Hudson Power Express, or Chippy, project has largely come to a conclusion for the winter due to weather. There's ice out there. Two of the boats have moved back to Europe. The third boat, which was most recently working on December 3rd, doing mattressing operations within a mile of the Hyde Park water system, appears to be down by New York City at its home port. So I'd imagine we'll have communication again in the spring when they look to start up again. Actually, isn't it more like August that they start up? Yeah, they've a narrow window. So they're done for the season and we'll pick up communication when they start again.
No problems.
No issues. No, we did sampling with them multiple times through the process and no detections. Their work is pretty far from our intake, unlike some of the other intakes that are out there. I've got good distances.
They have been when they were doing work in Hyde Park, there was some times where they were here and they did communicate with us.
Okay.
And they were very happy to. They provided some of their data that they've collected during the summer. So I have to compile a little bit yet, but I to get some information from them. Very forthcoming.
We found their communication to be, appropriate, timely, at times almost too frequent. Yeah, I think we've definitely convinced them to communicate. Our operator to say, it's okay, we know you're there.
Yeah, they came through, my neck of the woods. I can't remember when now, August, I guess, or maybe early September before they had to quit. And they were within half a mile, so the plant was off, but communication was great. Same couple folks making the calls and.
No, we don't want to give them any slack.
No, for sure.
When you're looking at marine traffic, obviously you're looking for the Argos, the Ardennais, those are in Europe right now. And then the third boat is the HOS Mystic, which is a US boat.
Okay.
So I meant to ask last year, but it slipped my mind. Did we ask them like for standard operating procedure to let all of the water systems know when they're a mile out? So that's what they do with me. We did. I thought we did. Where do they did they document that in the in their
We had a draft document from them that we circulated in terms of how frequent they would and when they would. And they've been living by that document.
Right. So it's the same for every system.
Yep.
Okay.
Same for every plant.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Good deal.
Yeah. Okay.
So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Jonathan. Dottie, PCBs, anything? You're on the agenda for.
Oh, I wasn't able to attend the CAG meeting. Randy did, and I apparently.
Randy had to jump off, so he's not here to do it, but maybe Devin, did you go?
Yeah, I was kind of multitasking for half of it. They're still releasing data. Basically, the big takeaway is that the fish data that they're collecting is showing that there are declining trends of PCBs, but not at the rate that we expected. And so there's a lot of pressure that's being put on the project managers to sort of be able to say, well, what's next steps and when are you going to, or are you going to say that this has been non-corrective? This, everything you've done is not remediating according to the plan, and therefore you need to come up with something else. And so that they're just sort of continuing to monitor the data before they make that determination.
Is that a 5-year plan?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
Thank you. Eric, you still with us? How about the what's going on at the fire training? Anything new?
I got an email back from Ted. Ted is the case manager from the DEC, and he said that their consultant TRC finished a draft report that they forwarded to the DEC, and they're now reviewing it. So it is moving ahead. We're getting a little closer, but there's no document available yet for us to review. I'll keep reaching out to the DEC every month and give you updates.
Thanks, Eric.
Nope.
Gary, Ron has to jump, so I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Yeah, thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Have a great evening. Okay, we're going to move on to committee reports. Neither Mike or Paige are here.
Yeah, but what they did do is they reported back to us that the state is still reviewing our DWSP2 plan. And they said that we should expect to hear back sometime at the end of January, beginning of February.
I thought it was more the end of February, but okay.
Late January or February is what they wrote. Mike and Paige also introduced us to DEC source water specialists, Anna Boutsikaris.
Yeah.
Okay, I did it. And so I'm in the process now of connecting us all with her to meet her, and she will be working with us once we have our plan.
Okay. There's no report for the water treatment plant or the lower Sopus Creek. No updates. New business. Rebecca, do you want to give a quick update on the leachate?
Yeah, so the New York State DEC has scheduled 2 presentations on the landfill leachate management rule, thanks to the advocacy of New York River Watch and our coalition of partners that included the Hudson 7. This is new information. The dates are January 27th, and we got a second date added on February the 11th. It's the start of what we hope will be multiple outreach to impacted stakeholders. And I'm going to circulate the link to the DEC's webpage where all the information lives. Both of these meetings are open to everyone. So that's the update on leachate. It's good news.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Mayor Bassett, I can give a quick update on some activities around the Lower Esopus Creek group. The county has been working to develop articles of corporation with the group's advice, and we'll be discussing that at our meeting with them in the very near future. And for those who are not aware, and around Thanksgiving, we brought on a new staff member at the Department of the Environment, Ella Catabiani, who is our watershed coordinator, who is going to be working to support the efforts in the Lower Esopus Creek, as well as water quality and restoration projects on the Wallkill River as it runs through Ulster County and the Lower Rondout as well.
Excellent. Excellent.
I just want to add that Andy and I met early in December. Andy, I have been communicating with Ella about minimum flow, so she's on it. But we had a really good meeting with Andy and Evelyn Ellis, the deputy director. I guess we were there for about an hour and a half, and we really just kind of updated them on our concerns about getting the county more involved, and all the history, which is a long history. And Andy and Evelyn were really great in listening to us. So we appreciate that, Andy. Thank you.
It's a good partnership.
Okay. Last, Rebecca, do you want to say something about our organization?
So membership, I'm going to be sending out again the draft resolution for municipalities who need to select primary and alternate voting members. So just be on the lookout for that, and I'll share with you your dates so that you know. And also, if you don't have your resolution, I can include that as well, so you can see the primary and alternate voting members are 2-year terms, even though there's no term limit. But we've just had an election and some changes, so I'll send that out. And also, Gary, it's always customary that we just confirm our yearly meeting date or monthly meeting date and time, just so that we're all clear that it's the second Wednesday at 5 o'clock each month through 2026, with the exception of December. They're hybrid meetings, and we need a quorum in person and or on Zoom, where you can do your business.
Any questions about that date? Any problems with anybody with the date and or time? Very good. All right. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn at 5:59.
Wow. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Great
Hey,
meeting.
have a great evening. See you all soon.